there a red light on right there?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, let's do it.
Should we do it?
Yeah.
All right. So today's guest is someone of exceptional character, someone who exemplifies kindness, humility, and quiet confidence. A native of Israel and now a weathered Vermonter, we have Yaniv Bazini.
Thank you so much. I'm
Yeah,
happy
of
to
course.
be here. Appreciate the nice words.
Yeah, no, of course. Well, you deserve it. I guess we'll just jump right into it. Just want to reiterate for anyone watching, and then obviously for our guests, like the point of this podcast is to showcase stories of perseverance and selflessness, like inspired by walk-ons, but not obviously exclusively walk-ons. And you're not a walk-on. We talked before, like you're kind of the farthest thing from a walk-on. Like you're at UVM, and before, like you're a very prominent player, like on your teams. But that doesn't mean you don't exemplify some of the same qualities that most walk-ons do, which is, like we mentioned before, kindness, humility, and you have this quiet confidence about you. And one thing that I really admire and respect about you is your ability to be very gentle and kind, despite being such a high-performing and well-recognized, at least within Vermont, athlete. And there's never an ounce of, I'm better than you because I score more goals. Again, very gentle in nature, but a fierce competitor. And I guess I'm just wondering where you think these qualities come from, broadly.
I'll give the credit to my parents, my mother, my father. I think also family in general, and grandparents. They're a big part of my life. I love every single person in my family. And we grew up by treating people with kindness, no matter who they are, what is their past, where their future goes, that everybody is a human being and we should treat everybody with a nice attitude, with a smile on your face, even if they don't treat you as good. And that's all them.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
that's awesome. I mean, they did a great job.
Thank you.
And yeah, some other things just about qualities you have about yourself that I noticed. We obviously played one season together last year, and you're just extremely calm, like not only in normal life, but even on the pitch. And it sometimes seems like I'll watch you play, and it's like maybe the 85th minute, you've played a lot of the game, and you've been running a lot, but it's like you're breathing like slow. It looks like you're breathing slow. Like you can't, it's not like, it's all like slow through the nose. And you obviously move fast, but it seems like really relaxed. And it's just really impressive, especially in big moments, because you seem like you have this ability to maintain real calm under pressure. And so I guess same thing with the first question is, where do you think you got that from? Is this also from family? Is this from experience?
I think it's a little bit of personality, and it's also things that I worked on, and like in the soccer world, for example. I worked on being there when the team needs me and to be calm in front of the goal. Like also practicing a lot of times that I will be in certain situations that when it's really time of the game to really be more relaxed and do what is my job doing. Like I'm a striker, so I need to be more calm, composed in front of the goal and score when necessary. Hopefully all the time I can. But yeah, I'll say that it's comes a lot with the personality. Like when I grew back in Israel, so grew up in the club, everybody actually said like, you are too calm. Like it's too calm. It's like in a negative way even.
Yeah.
And I also needed to grow from there, because like my personality is just being calm, not getting super excited from every single thing.
Right.
So I needed to work on how I'm showing this little bit of excitement, spiciness with this calmness, that I also show the need and the want of playing and scoring, to give the confidence also to the coach and to the players that they'll give to me the ball when when I'm in a good opportunity.
Right. And so do you think you just always had it from like youth level onwards, or you developed it? Like you were always calm?
Yeah, I think it's a kind of a mutual.
Personality.
It's a personality that
Okay.
it's calm, and also the way that I work to be a little bit more spicy with the calmness that I have.
Mm-hmm.
That people will see that like, yeah, I'm calm, but I will score the goal. Like
Yeah.
I need this. Like you want me with the ball right now.
Do you ever feel, because obviously externally, like me watching you,
Mm-hmm.
you look very calm. But internally, are you calm all the time in those moments? Or is there ever a moment of like, even though you look composed, where you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, there is moments that I'm like more overthinking, like the heartbeat is going up from stress or
Yeah.
nervous. But again, I put myself always in the situations that I will get nervous and stressed, that when it really matters, I already know how to react. My body knows how to react. And I think like training, like, it's this, like everybody say it, practice makes perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course. So when you put yourself in the same situation, this is the practice. And when you get to when it really matters, your body is already like a robot. It's working on its own. And this helped me a lot during my like career, and to stay calm when necessary.
Can you point to a moment where you did feel like you said the elevated heart rate, and you start to feel the stress in a game? Was there a certain moment where you really had to?
Yeah, I can point one that was a bit surprising for me. It was the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
We're in West Virginia, if you remember.
Yeah.
I'm walking on the pitch before the game, and I feel this weird feeling, not of the excitement, a little bit more than that. I guess I was nervous, that I'm usually like, there is a little bit of nervous, and you start to think how the game will look like, how it will be after. During the game, you visualize, like it's a whole process, a couple days of processing the game. And you know it, you've been there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm standing on the pitch and I see Connor Leland. He's there. He said, "You ready?" I said, "Yeah, I feel a bit different. I feel like kind of not how I used to, like how I used to feel before games, like a bit overthinking about the situation. Could be like I had a good season, a really important win towards my individual future, towards the team future, and like big time for me. So maybe it was a bit too much in the moment. I don't think it affected me in the game or after this moment. This like kind of nervous that outside of the field, but inside the field, when it's getting like, okay, someone scores, like the other team scores, you need to score, and like the last minutes, at times, like for example, I got a PK against UConn, and really, I'll say dominated the game and ready to win. And then
this was this season.
Yeah, this season.
The 1-0 win.
Yeah, and I said like not super nervous, but still thinking, but not let my mind overthink. But it was like a second of okay, stay focused, like talking to yourself, but still with confidence because you did it so many times. You know that it's important. And I think I did a pretty decent PK. It was a great save. But the more important thing is the bounce back. That and this
the
game.
Response.
Yeah. The response that I did. Like and the game, the moment I missed it, I said I have to give it back to the team.
Yeah.
But about like the situation of nervous, this is one of them. And of course it's a situation like the NCAA first round, the PK as well.
Yeah.
That I was just too tired to be nervous, honestly. 90th minute. You're just like, okay, you're tired, you can't even overthink in this situation. You're just there and doing what your body knows.
So West Virginia walking onto the pitch, and you talked to Connor Leland, who was our goalkeeper coach last season, and then the penalty against UConn this regular season were two moments. So the UConn one, you ended up missing the penalty, but had a really good response, ended up scoring the game-winning goal. And with West Virginia, how did you feel that initial emotion walking on the pitch affected how you played, or were you able to gather yourself and like get back to your normal state of calm?
I think I did, like, got to my normal state
Yeah.
of calmness, and it didn't affect me as much.
Did you do anything like intentionally, like in terms of like the self-talk?
I'm trying, to talk positive, think positive.
Yeah.
You visualize, imagine, saying.
What do you say?
For example, before every game, I have like a small note on my notes on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I read it, and I also have a voice of me saying, like, putting pressure on the ball, running, shooting when I have the
An
opportunity.
actual voice you?
Yeah.
That you record?
That I recorded to myself.
Wow. And wait, what does it say?
It says, like, just actions of me. Like, I'll close my eyes and visualize myself. So, like, shooting when you have the opportunity, press,
Yeah.
run into the box, runs in behind, so dribble. And every time I say it, like, a little bit more time, not so quick. Every time I say, I visualize myself doing this. And again, I'll go back again. The amount of times that I did it during my life. So when you get into your calm state, so you're already just letting your body react and let it do what it does the best without overthinking. When I was before, I overthought. But I think when I got into the game, put everything aside, the fans that were annoying, don't really know honestly, but people said it. And like whatever is going outside, to be present and what I can do.
That's really interesting. I did not know that you did that with the voice recordings. That's a really cool method. And you've done that for a while?
I've done it since I came to Vermont.
Wow.
Yeah. That I think it improved my game mentally. I went to a mental coach and we worked on a whole like individuals changing of a mental situation.
Yeah. When you're talking to yourself in the recording, are you describing, so you talked about like dribbling and shooting, like as soon as you get the ball, you're getting a shot quick. Well, how are you describing it? Are you saying, I shoot the ball quick, or I shot the ball quick? Are you talking about yourself in the future?
No,
the past?
It's more right now. Like
I'm getting the ball.
It's not like I'm getting the ball. It's shoot when you have the opportunity.
Okay. It's like a command.
I'm pressing all the time.
Okay.
Like it's kind of you visualize yourself doing it now.
Wow.
Like
That's
I'm
really
pressing all the time. Shoot when you have the opportunity. Like I'm shooting when I have the opportunity.
And you listen to it when you're like, what are you doing when you're
It's usually like 5 minutes before we leave.
Okay.
I put on the headphones or read it. Like taking deep breath, like meditation.
Yeah.
Kind of hard sometimes with all the music that in the locker room. It's still taking deep breath, getting into my own mind, forgetting about the outside world in the moment, and really like getting focused on what it is really matter and what we're getting prepared.
That's really interesting. I mean, I'm like obsessed with the self-talk stuff and the mental side of the game, and I didn't know you did that, so I'm really curious. But that's really interesting, like the kind of positive affirmations, and there's a lot of science behind that actually.
Right.
Especially, I mean, I'm sure you know from the mental coach and any other like sports psychology you've done. But when you get into certain states, like a high stress state or certain meditative states, like your mind can become more neuroplastic. It can be more receptive to learning. So then when you tell yourself those things in that state, you really start to believe them.
Right.
And then it becomes, and then you see it on the field.
I think also what is like the more important thing of like visualizing and everything, it's kind of leaving out certain details. Like in my notes, for example, there's not one thing that says how many goals you will score and how many shots you will have.
Yeah.
It's more the actions of how many runs in the back, like to the box.
Yeah.
Like make a run, like every time.
Yeah.
Like you live in this moment, this situation. As we know in soccer, things can change the blink of an eye.
Mm-hmm.
Like something will happen.
So wait, could you like could you say that, rephrase that a little bit? So you're saying it's not always about the goals, but sometimes about the runs. Could you give some more examples?
So how you don't judge yourself by the result.
Yeah.
You judge yourself by the way.
Yeah.
So this is more like everything that I have written down. It's only talking about the way, how I getting to the results at the end of the day. But I don't have, for example, a goal that says, hey, you're going to score 10 goals by the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what I'm reading. I'm reading, hey, you're going to run to the box. You're going to shoot when you have the opportunity. You're going to make runs in behind. You're going to look entry balls, key passes. So, like, it's the way of what you, like, will help you at the end of the day, will reach the bigger goals. And because if you, every game, you will go to the game and say, I need to score this game 2 goals. Probably you won't score 2 goals. Maybe you will, but you'll be too mental stressed because your only success is when you score the 2 goals.
Right.
So what happens if you don't?
Then, yeah.
You're really upset. Like, I had a bad game. I don't know how I'm playing here.
Yeah.
But what? You shot the crossbar. You did really good dribbles. You helped your team. You had really good key passes. You pressed it really good.
Good penalty against UConn, and it's just a good save.
Right.
You can't control that.
Exactly.
So I'm so happy you said that, because that, again, ties back into like the mission of the Walk On Way and why I wanted to have you on is, so we're trying to, again, recognize these character traits like selflessness, perseverance. The reason we want to recognize that is because those are the things that you can control.
Mm-hmm.
You can control your effort. You can control your attitude. You can control how you show up. You can control how many runs you make. Right? You can't control how many goals you score. You can influence that by training, but you can't control it.
Exactly.
So.
And I cannot control the keeper to make a good save.
Right, exactly. So I'm so happy you said that, because I think to have longevity in the sport and to not like drive yourself crazy, you have to really focus on the inputs.
Right.
Like, which is, how you show up to training, your effort, making hard runs, being a good teammate, all those things.
Right.
And if you do those things right, the goals, the minutes, it will all come with time.
Exactly.
Not always, but usually.
Right.
And yeah, so I'm so happy you said that, because you can guarantee the controllables, the inputs, but you can't guarantee the outputs. So that, again, that's like a huge reason why I wanted to have you on, and a huge goal with this podcast to promote those controllables.
Right. And before you continue, you said something of how you being a good teammate and everything. It's also in one of my things, how to be a good leader.
Yeah.
How to be vocal and how to...
In the voice memo?
Yeah. So how to be vocal, how to be there when the team needs you, like vocally, and to talk, to communicate between the players and the coaches. It's also like important things that I also read before or listen before the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because it also have a great impact on how I'm going to play and how the team success will be by the end of the game. So this is also a very important game, not only individually, also to be a good leader and to make the team the best that you can.
Do you ever have trouble reminding yourself to focus on the controllables, on the inputs, on the things like being a good teammate and working hard, when you get a lot of, obviously you've had some really, really impressive moments as a player. Mm-hmm. We're trying to focus on the controllables, but it's important to recognize the outcomes too. Oops, let me fix this.
Yeah. Was there for a while? It's good.
So obviously you've had some, like I said, really impressive and big moments as a player, which we're trying to focus on the controllables, but outcomes are part of the game and they're important. And like if I think back to UVM, you had a very big goal in the 2022 season against Syracuse in the regular season. Was that 2022 or 23?
Yeah, 2022, I think. Yeah, 2022.
And then in the 2022 tournament, the goal against UCLA, which is one of probably the most iconic goals in UVM soccer history. And then you have 2023 in the tournament. You have several big moments.
Right.
Most notably, I think, against UCF. But then earlier in the tournament, You had your goal or goals against Ryder. I can't even remember.
2 goals.
Two goals, yeah. So you've had some really big moments, and then that's not even to mention Vermont Green. You know, you had your debut hat trick and the game-winning goal to send them into playoffs most recently in the Open Cup. So like, there's been lots of moments. The point being, do you ever find it hard to stay focused on the controllables, the things like being a good teammate, the things like making the hard runs, when you're receiving a lot of external praise for these big moments?
It is hard at times. Like, of course, when everything works out for you, you have this confidence and it works out more and you want to make these hard runs.
Yeah.
But it's when it doesn't really work, then the doubt getting in, and you need to fight the doubt, and you need to, this is more when, like, you need to be strong mentally, because the way down is really fast if you not stop it. And even this season, I had a few like doubts that got in, but no. I think throughout my life and throughout my career and youth and things that I went through, I learned how to stop them, if it's me or the coach or the players, and how to control it and take it aside and be present in the moment, be focused. And also, like how you said, all this big achievements, that it is really huge. Because I'm so focused, it's fun to hear it. So thank you.
Yeah.
Because it is really fun to hear it, because you're so focused. You like forget about this big moment and how big it is, because through UCLA you have Syracuse. Like it doesn't really matter that you scored a goal. Good, you won next. So it's good to celebrate also those moments. Also really important mentally. But yeah, I'll go back to even this season. I had a few, not mental drop downs. It's just a few doubts, or like it was a couple games that I didn't score. That from a couple games, it was 4 games that I think my performance was really good. That's why I still kept my chest high, my head high, and keep going forward. But like we said, sometimes the result won't come, and this is when you need to become stronger. Like this is actually when you become a good soccer player, I believe, and a good mentally, like in a mental state. Because when things work, like we said, you have the confidence, like things will come. But when things doesn't work really your way, like the team didn't really cross you a good ball, or you didn't really have the greatest game, and you didn't score, and it's really important for you to score, blah, blah, blah. So this is when you're actually getting like judged as a person and as a player and as an athlete, and how you can bounce back from that. And this season, I'm like struggling with it, because my last season, I need to help my team going as far as I can. And I also need to have a good individual season for my future. So I think I'm doing a pretty good job with it, but it's a consistent struggle, like all the seasons, just in different ways.
So you just mentioned how important this season is for obviously your future career. And first, obviously you mentioned the team success is most important, but also it's just the truth of it that your individual production does matter, especially for your own career. Did you feel any pressure going into the season, and like how did you cope with it, and how have you coped with it now? Obviously you're having individually, and the team is having I'd say very solid season, and yeah, just curious how you coped with it, and if you did feel that pressure.
First coming into the season, yeah, it is this pressure of, okay, you start the last dance of college at least.
Yeah.
So it's like the last dance, and you want to make the best out of it. You want to make your legacy.
Right.
In the team, of course, because in universities and colleges, you don't really have individual legacy. You have more like you're part of UVM, but you want to be part of this UVM success. And yeah, it's like, okay, it's my last chance to go and win as many games, and go and win the regular season, win the championship, and make a good run at NCAA and even win it, and to make history. So of course, from the first moment, from preseason, you're thinking about it, but you don't want to overthink it. Like, I believe when you start to overthink, it's when you start to go down, because you not focus on right now, right? This moment, this practice, this lift, this game. So you bounce back into the present. Okay, we have Western Michigan. We need to beat Western Michigan. Okay, we have UC Irvine. We need to beat UC Irvine. And this is how I dealt with this. It's more like let's do all this legacy and let's do all this big UVM game and season, and more like let's do this big UVM game, like right now.
Just one step at a time.
Yeah. So this is what helped me, even with if I didn't score for a few games, it still helps me. This is the most important game of the season. This is when I'm coming. This is when I'm doing my best, not only for me but for the team. Because like I said, especially in UVM, it's big, the team. The team is always before the individual.
Is that unique to your soccer experience, how team focused UVM is? And I guess, could you speak a little bit to the culture of like Vermont soccer and how it compares? I guess you played at NC State, but you also played on teams back home in Israel, and I'm sure at several more at the youth level. How does it compare, and is it more family, team oriented, like you mentioned, than others?
So it is different, of course. Will first of all equal UVM to every one of them that you just said. So I'll just say a few words. The community here in Burlington and in UVM, this is the most important thing for UVM and for the team and for the players. And I love it. This is actually the first time. This is one of the only different things that I can say about everything. UVM, you feel the community behind you, and the sense of the community. They don't expect you to win, but they love to see you succeed.
Yeah.
That they're really behind you, and you love it, and they support you no matter if it's raining outside, it's sunny, beautiful day, bad day, win, lose, they still there behind you, and it's amazing. I really shout out to all the community here. Like, really, it's a big thing here in Burlington.
Yeah.
Vermont. And to equal it, like NC State, the team itself was a lot of individuals. I loved everybody, the staff, and I liked the players, but it was a lot of individuals. And I remember even having a talk with the coach there when I first came. How does it feel? I said, it feels like we're not a team. We're groups. We have groups on the team, and we're not a team. And this is how the staff is doing an amazing job of who they're recruiting. And people that they recruit, amazing personalities here. Like, I cannot say one person that is not matching UVM and soccer with a personality. Great people, really humble, like amazing conversations, and everybody with their mentality of team first, we want to win, we're all family. And this is what I did not feel in an ACC school, NC State, that has all the money. And this is how we are more successful than them as well. And this is why players want to come to Vermont and not to a big ACC school. So this is like between the US, that it's first of all amazing with the community, that also in NC State wasn't, and also the players and the staff that really have a certain culture, that the culture is the most important thing. And back at home, like Israel, you grow up in a city, everything is competitive in city. It's not like in Burlington that you play for fun, and then if you're really good, then you're starting to be competitive. So there it's always competitive. it's always like you buy the results, you need to be a good player, you grow up in an academy. If you're good, you continue in the academy until the pros. And it's not really the community. You have the fans that sometimes know about you, but it's not a lot of fans. Depends on which team. The team that I grew up in, one of the best, I'll say, youth clubs, didn't have a lot of fans. And yeah, you don't really feel the sense of the community, or the fans. And when you get into the professionals, they're not friends and professional teams. You're not friends. Like you have your couple teammates, good teammates, bad teammates, friends maybe after, and that you can spend time with. But at the end of the day, it's your profession, and whoever is playing when you're not, he's the guy that will get the money and you won't. If it's not right now, it's going to be a year from now because you're not playing. So it's always like it's your profession and you're competing. So my last few years in Israel was different than how I feel now. Because here is the sense of the team, there it's the sense of the team with a lot of individual.
Yeah.
Like I need really to score, I need really to be good, I need to play, I need to do that because I need to put my resume high. And this is how I get money on my table, this is how I'm gonna provide to my family. This is your profession. This is how you're getting higher and higher in this sport. But in college you don't feel it yet. That's why what I feel a lot of players do not understand. Like they think, oh, professional. You grew up in an environment of friends. You don't know what is the professional world. I know, I think I was ready for that. But it's not as all love and team and community. It's more production.
Right.
Like you see it in the best levels. As a coach, you don't win 5 games, you're fired.
Yeah.
Like no time to waste. I don't need to wait until you're gonna start winning. You don't have time. If it's not you, it's someone else. Same thing as a player.
It's interesting. Yeah, no. I appreciate you sharing both those like comparisons, and that's kind of what I expected to be the case, because I think that UVM not being kind of a brand name school almost serves as like a filter.
Right.
Like the people that come here, like we don't get the people that really want the brand name recognition because of the Instagram or any of that. Like people come here first of all because they're recruited to be really good players and really good people, and not to really be concerned about the playing it in the ACC or playing at a brand name school. And yeah, when you're in the locker room, I was just like so shocked at how humble and selfless pretty much everybody on the team was, especially coming off arguably the best UVM season ever, where they finished, you all finished 4th in the nation. And yeah, there wasn't an ounce of arrogance or anything. It was just, you show up, you do your job as best you can, and then you're all friends after.
Right.
Like that's it. There's no egos. It's really, really a cool thing to be a part of, and I hope it continues that way. I think it will.
I hope so.
But so we touched on NC State. Can we talk a little bit about your transition from NC State to Vermont? Obviously, we talked about the differences in the program, but I imagine that was one of the more, we've obviously talked about this independently. From my understanding, you were kind of shown the door at NC State, and you came to Vermont, which is, again, like we talked about, smaller market, less publicity, I guess. It's a smaller conference, less brand name recognition, I guess. And you obviously really excelled here. And I was just curious about that transition, where your head was at mentally. Were you excited? Were you like, oh, here we go, gotta go to the cold? I'm just curious what you were thinking going in and how you handled it, because I'm sure that was really challenging to be, like we said, kind of shown the door. Again, from my understanding, but I want you to tell the story.
Yeah, it is really challenging. So I'll just say the quick story of me coming to NC State from Israel, and I stayed there for a year and a half. Came in the spring, been really good. Couldn't play in the spring because of NCAA rules, because of COVID, something. But I've been really good. A lot of appreciation from the coach, the staff, the players, everybody, including me, could not wait until I can be able to touch the field. Comes the fall, comes the compartment syndrome with it, an injury that came out of nowhere, kind of. And I could not play, basically, long story short, I couldn't play in every game more than 30 minutes. So I will struggle with the 30 minutes down on the field, won't play like I normally do, and need to be asked to sub out because I could not run anymore. Everybody can Google what is compartment syndrome.
It's just like briefly, it's in your shins, right?
Yeah, it's like the calves. It's the fascia, what's surrounding your muscle is really tight on your muscle. It's not expanding with the muscle. That it's like kind of a cramp, and it blocks your nerves and your blood vessels. And at the end of, for me, I couldn't feel my feet.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, so you cannot touch the ball anymore. So it's kind of, for the 30 minutes, I just try to maintain my legs that I'll be able to stay on the field. But I wasn't focused on the game so much. So focused on how much less sprints I need to do to stay on the field. It was like that. I would still play as much as I could. The coach still let me play, but I didn't, of course, play like I normally do. Came the spring, like right after the fall, I did the surgery. Came the spring, and the coach wasn't really patient of letting me come back normally from the surgery. So it did take a little bit time to regain the muscle and my speed and change of direction. And because the muscle needs to recover, and it takes a little bit longer than a month or two. Right. Because it's a lot of power that you need to develop with it. So he started to show me the way out, show me the door, like you said. Show me the way out. And if I'm being honest, I did not enjoy their playing soccer. Like from before, I did not, like I started not to have fun. Started to feel like the game is not fun because I'm not getting my own decisions anymore. I'm just a card that's getting played with and telling what to be done. And I did not enjoy it. Like I did have a certain freedom, but not really like I used to have, or what I really needed to get to the next level, or to show that I can be at the next level. So I started not to have fun. So I'm happy, like I'm super grateful that it happened. Because if it was me, because of scholarship money, and you have your girlfriend, and it's a really nice school, and you getting used to the area. So my sister used to live right next to me. So it was really, really convenient and easy. So it wouldn't come from me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I would love to say that it would come from me, but it didn't really come from me. And the moment he
So you think you would have stayed?
I think I
Because
would
of
have
the
stayed.
convenience.
Yeah, because of the convenience, and I do not know what is outside the door yet. And the moment we had a talk, like I said, hey, I want to play more. Why are you not, like, why are you showing me the way out? Why are you not letting me play, basically? So we had a talk. He didn't see me playing next year bunch. And then I said, I came to the US to go to the next level. If you don't appreciate me enough and you don't think I can help you, be it. Like, it's okay. It's part of the business. I told him, he disagreed because he's a college coach, but it's part of the business. If you don't think I am, I'll go to a place that will believe in me, because I know that I know who I am. I believe in myself. I had a few offers, transfer portal, everything, and then Rob Dahl was one of the first coaches, like I think the second or the third, to email me with his phone number, say, hey, just call me. Like, you can send me an email, call me when you can. And it was the first one, instead of like this email that they send every probably transfer student.
Right.
Like I got like D3, D2, D1, good schools, that's good schools, good places, not good places. And Rob, that was one of the first one with a kind of a personal one. Hey, this is my number, give me a call. Really nice call, good conversation. Like, I think 10, 15 minutes, explained, he understood. And I told him I don't want to make my decision quick because when I came to NC State, I made my decision quick, and I didn't really like it, the soccer of it, and I came here for soccer. Long story short, I decided to come to UVM because it's amazing people, staff that believed in me, and I had the feeling that they will give me what I need. And I think now that I'm after it and I'm close to be done with UVM, my best decision that I made here in the US at least, that to come here to the call, one of the hardest decisions was to commit to UVM just because of the call. Like, it was very good connection, exactly what I wanted, like where they were standing, like a team that getting into the NCAA but cannot really break through, or to be like the best team in their conference and to be like a domination in the country. This is exactly what I was looking for. And the cold in Vermont just stopped me. And I said, look, I Googled, where's Vermont? Where's UVM? I Googled, I see like, wow, next to Montreal,
Yeah.
Canada. How can I live there? I'm from Israel. Like, I'm kind of from the desert. Living in mountains and snow.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I came here, I said, just make me stronger, and it did. And I'm super happy. Everybody been here amazing. Like, every single person that I met here is amazing. Amazing friends that I met, teammates, and I think the moment I got in here until the moment I left, I became a much better person, much better player, and a much better package deal as me myself. And I'm so happy with it.
I'm glad. Yeah, I think you made a great decision, and I'm happy you made that decision. I have a couple questions from the story I just told. So one has to do with compartment syndrome, and the other has to do with balancing sticking it through when you feel underappreciated and knowing when it's time to make that leap. So I'll start with the compartment syndrome one. You talked about how you had to be really conservative with your runs, the amount of sprints you had in the game. Do you think that actually made you a better player because you had to really be strategic about your movements, or just no, it was just a challenge?
I'm not sure about it. It's a good idea actually.
Because you are when I watch you play now, some people confuse it with a lack of effort.
Yeah.
Because you're not sprinting like crazy.
Right.
It was one of my problems. I didn't know when, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm tiring myself out. But you're selective about your runs.
Right.
But when you go with full intensity. And I was just curious if that had anything to do with it.
I do not think it's the compartment syndrome. I think it's more the experience on the field, and you know that you play. Like, I grew up playing 90 minutes, so you need to know when is the right time to run. And I felt like in NC State really with the compartment syndrome, it was more like the moment, like it's the beginning of the game. Sometimes you need to run in behind or to do a dribbling with the ball. And then you just like starting to feel it, the compartment syndrome. So it wasn't really, I don't know if it helped me today. I think it's more a skill of with time that you know when it is a good time to run in behind, when you don't really need to press, when to let them get on the ball, and when it is a better time to press. Yeah, and I can see in college a lot of people say that it's maybe a lack of intensity and lack of running, but yeah, I'm like you, I don't think so. And I think I am, like I will go to the 90th minute and I'll sprint 10 times if I need back and forth. But I'm not sure if it's because of the compartment syndrome.
Yeah, I was just curious about it.
Yeah.
But I think it's its own type of discipline, knowing when to run, because I think it's a popular opinion that you just run. That's kind of like I don't know if it's an American mentality, maybe like a college mentality.
Yeah, collegiate, I'll say.
Like grind
Really,
set.
like
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
run all the time, physical.
Which I get it, but sometimes making a sprint to chase a ball that you're not gonna get, it's not smart.
Yeah.
You're actually making yourself, worse for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So I just think that's an interesting one. And then my second question from your story about your transition from NC State to UVM is you mentioned not feeling appreciated there and you wanted to go somewhere where you felt appreciated. So I'm just curious, how do you know when you need to leave versus like trying to stick with it and just grind through it? Because if you were to leave every time I'm not saying this is what you did, but I'm saying if a player were to leave every time they weren't in the starting lineup for a few games or they didn't feel like they were the star, they're never going to find their thing. So how do you know when it's time to go versus to stick with it and try to see it through?
Yeah, so it's a very good point because what you said, I have a lot of friends that I grew up with that every time they didn't start or didn't play as many minutes as they wanted, they ran. They left the team, found another club that appreciated them, and it happened the same thing from there. The same thing there. They will maybe start the first couple of games and then it's decreasing because they're good players, they will fight, they will work hard, but when this moment comes, they give up, putting their hands up and blaming. I don't know if I can give a good answer about that because, like I said, unfortunately, it didn't come really for me. It didn't come at the end of the day for me because I made a decision to leave, but they kind of did show me the way out. Right. And I think I was too focused. My mentality is not to give up, and how I got all the way like in Israel from youth to go to the pros and the same club is because I did not give up. And for me it worked good, but maybe it also will be a recipe for failure because it was a lot of time, like it was years. It was a year that I played 9 games out of 35. Only 9 games, then I start 1 game. At age 16. 16 is pretty late.
Yeah.
But this is part of me that not giving up, always working harder when it's not. So in NC State, I cannot give you the answer maybe that you wanted because I did not. I was too focused on, okay, I need to go to the gym, I need to get stronger, to develop my legs, I won't get the playing time. Although I always knew, in the back of my head, I even said it, that he does show me the way out. He will never let me be this number one. He will never let me be this starting striker that will prove the country that he's here. He will never let me be this guy. And I knew it, and I still decided to stay to prove it. So I do think that you need to sometimes open your eyes and realize that he won't let you, for example, like the coach won't let you. But I believe that you do need to fight for something. Like you do need to show a bit of nails, we say in Hebrew, like show a bit of nails and fight for it. Because it is important not to give up. If you love something and you want to do something, who are they to tell you no? And you do need to find the balance of who will tell you yes as well. Because some people, for the rest of their life, will tell you no. But you need to find the yes. Unfortunately, in NC State, it wasn't me. Like I said, I would wish it would be me, and I'll be find the courage and would decide to get out of my comfort zone and say you know what, that's not the place for me. He kind of showed me the way out, and yeah, it's comfortable here, but I came here to do that instead of staying there and seeing what will look next season like. That I'm happy that he did show me the way out because this is what I needed to do.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah. Very good question.
Thank you. I'm just thinking the direction I want to take it right now. Can we talk about Vermont Green?
Yeah.
I don't really have any specific questions, but I'm just curious to know like what you thought of the experience. Obviously, it's a really unique club, and everyone in Burlington loves it. It's the games are a lot of fun. Really, really good players, especially considering the level is still, I guess it's semi-pro, but really it's amateur, and it's an elite level. Obviously, you beat a pro team, professional team, a third division professional team, and gave a great game to another third division professional team.
I think we should have won that as well.
Yeah, I think so too. Both those were in the 2024 Open Cup. And yeah, I'm just curious what you think of the program or the club, I should say. What your experiences have been, and maybe a favorite moments.
I'll say, favorite moment will be hard, but let's keep it to the end. First of all, amazing club. Like what they did, it's really unique.
Yeah.
It's first of all unique that there are only 3 seasons, and they already have so much love.
Yeah.
And it's like
even after the first season.
Yeah, it's really unique. Really, really unique. First of all, a lot is because of the community and the support that they give. But still, I think it's really professional how they make it. A lot of passion, like the mission. They're really connected to the mission. Not only the result. Only last season, maybe like a little bit of result, but more about like how things will look at the games and how you've been faced with your mission and how the fans will like love coming to the games. If it's with the announcer, the talking, or the food trucks, or like just cool gear and signing the autographs. I think the whole environment that they created, amazing. So like really amazing from the founders and the community as well that made it like that. The team is, with like all the support, it makes it even better. But the team, the individuals, I think, really good recruitment. Like you have, I think, in every position, probably one of the best players, if not the best, one of the best players in college. Like in every position. Yeah. And it's fun to play like that. Like I don't know if anyone saw the games, but I recommend. But you saw, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it is.
You move the ball, you play the game.
It's different than the college game.
Yeah.
It's less direct. Obviously, I guess with Vermont Green, there's maybe a bigger audience, but it's still summer league, so there's maybe a little bit less on the line.
Exactly.
But it's like pretty soccer. It's not like super direct,
Right.
which has its place. I think it kind of reminds me of like the seasons in Vermont. Like Burlington summer is like really pretty, it's nice, it's relaxed, and that's like how Vermont Green plays. And then like winters in Vermont are like just tough, direct, and like just really physical.
That's
That's
a good ideology.
Both good.
Yeah.
Both good.
No, I think like it's really different the way UVM plays in Vermont.
Yeah.
I think also because of the players.
Yeah.
Like Vermont bring players that want the ball more on the ground, and UVM bring players that could play on the ground, but will win the battle when it matters. That it showed a lot in college, in the college soccer, that it's really good to have those kind of teams, and less like Vermont Green that want to move the ball beautiful in college soccer.
Yeah. For better or for worse, I think in college soccer, a physical team can beat a technical team. I don't know what it is, but I think a good example was UCF.
Yeah.
I think they had some really technical, very talented players.
Right.
And we played very direct and I think completely deserved to win.
exactly. I think everybody watched it said that we deserve to win, and we let them be with the ball, do their thing, and not be dangerous. And the moment we got the ball, been direct and dangerous. Like we've been in the front foot.
Yeah.
We wanted to score when they just wanted to move the ball, and we let them. And so I think in college it's really, you can see that really like a lot. And yeah, going back to the green, Vermont green, it's like you said that it's like immature a little bit and like semi-professional. I think it's also plays a little bit. You're less stressed to do a mistake maybe, and like it's not the end of the world if you lose. So I'm not talking about Vermont green, I'm talking about the other teams.
Yeah.
So the other team is not the end of the world if you're gonna lose. So I lose. So I won't sprint my 200%. I'll just sprint my 100%.
Right.
Not like in college, it's like, okay, this is when it matters.
Yeah.
So this is what kind of helps it to be beautiful soccer, and of course, like you have there maybe the best players in college soccer, at least in the starting 11, and you have like, and on the bench, the best players on teams in college. Like you have players that do not play, but they're the stars in their college.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like to think about it, how much talent is in the group. That is really like unique to have. Beautiful Burlington summer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've made some friends from playing soccer down in Boston. A couple guys who played like with Boston City FC, and they talked about how amazing the experience was getting to play at Virtue, just because the amount of fans that come to Virtue, a lot come for the UVM games, but I'm specifically singling out for Vermont Green because most other USL 2 teams get no fans. And so that's, most people are used to playing in front of, at least in the summer, like 20 people. And then they come to Virtue and get the opportunity, which is really cool. Like win or lose, it's a really cool opportunity to get to play in front of a couple thousand people with a really cool environment. And so they were raving about it, which I thought was just awesome because they were just
it is
happy for the experience.
I feel like also everything that comes to UVM, they're really waiting for it.
Yeah.
They come to Virtue Field, not UVM, to Virtue Field and the Vermont against Vermont Green to give their best performance. Like for most of the players, I'll say, that playing in Virtue Field, probably 70% of them, it's their best environment of soccer that they played in.
Yeah.
Like in front of sometimes 3,000 fans, and you playing against a good quality team and against good players. For some people, it's their highlight of their career.
Right.
And first of all, it's amazing to be in every game of this. Like you always will get the best out of the other team.
Right.
And it's fun every time to step on this pitch in front of these fans and this environment. I love it. I really, so much joy. It's all that matters. Like not all that matters, but for me, it's all that matters in soccer. You need to enjoy.
Yeah, that's right.
You asked me also about the best moment.
Yeah, best memory. Best memory. Let's do that.
Best memory. So can I say a few?
Yeah, do a couple.
I'll go best memory because it's probably the most iconic Vermont Green goal.
Yeah.
I'll say. It's the goal that I scored the 90th minute and the last home game.
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have like the picture of me heading the ball towards the goal.
The picture, we have to somehow get the picture attached to this because it's a really, I don't know, do you know the name of the photographer?
Patrick.
Yeah, McCormack?
Yeah.
Yeah, really good job. He also shoots some of the UVM games, right? Most of them?
I'm not sure if he
Yeah,
did.
just from up here. But yeah, amazing photo. We'll have to attach that. So that's
really
one of them.
amazing. So this is one of them, like all in front of this fans, kind of a rainy game, and such an important game for the team, the fans, and to score in the 90th minute, have to be like an amazing feeling. I'll say also from last season, I scored in a bicycle kick.
Yeah.
That got into.
I think that was against Boston City. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
They said that as well.
Yeah, they were talking about that.
So yeah, I scored a bicycle kick, and then the morning after I wake up, it's in the sports center.
Was it number 1 or number 2?
Number 1.
Yeah. Wow.
But I was like
Okay.
That's pretty good.
That's a good surprise to wake up to, because I know it's a big deal here.
Had you ever short a bicycle here before?
When I was a kid,
Yeah,
not.
that's awesome.
Yeah, but it's like when the moment comes, you're like, okay, gonna do it. You saw me a few times probably trying a game.
I don't know. I don't remember it.
Really?
Yeah.
I sometimes, like, I think in the college season, we try once at least or twice.
Yeah.
Like because it needs to really come uniquely to
Yeah.
this position.
Yeah, those are two really good moments, but I'm sure there's been a lot.
And of course, like you said, the debut Patrick was also
Right.
great.
Against AC Connecticut or Black Rock.
I think AC Connecticut.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, this is switching gears a little bit. Still talking about soccer, but you had a 3-year mandatory military service, correct?
Yes.
And you were playing all throughout.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how you navigated like training and soccer goals, maintaining focus on that with the military service, and then I'm curious if you took any skills or anything away from it that influenced, the way you play or just you in life.
Well, first of all, I'll say that like I am happy that I could give the minimum to my country.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I served for 2 years and 8 months, if I'm being
Okay.
really precise. I say sometimes 3 years because it's easier to say just 3 years because it's closer to the 3 year.
Is that the amount?
It's the mandatory for men.
2 years, 8 months.
Yes.
Okay.
For women it's 3 years.
Okay.
So I'm happy I could have done the minimum for that. So
And when was that? You came to NC State in 2021?
and 2021, yes.
And then, so
January
when was this
2021.
2 year 8?
I finished
understand.
I finished my military service at August of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, August of. Yeah, I don't remember the exact date now. I should.
So probably like 6 months before, because did you come to NC
Yeah.
State in the spring?
So 6 months before, and then during like right after the military, it's when I decided. So I couldn't really start my season.
Okay.
And it was also COVID during that. So it was a great experience, I'll say. Really tough. It's military at the end of the day, but my position, I won't say really my position, but my position was on and off in the military. So I most of the time would sleep at home and just come in the morning, or after I started to play with first team, I trained in the morning. So I would wake up.
Can you say the name of the club? I have it written down, but I can't.
It's called Hapoel Rishon LeZion. Maybe I put an accent. Hapoel
Apoel?
Rishon
Rishon?
LeZion.
Litzion.
Yeah.
Okay. Can't repeat it.
So yeah, I'd say the second division in Israel. So when we train in the morning, 10, 9, I will wake up, go to training, right after go to the military, and it will be like a job more. Like I'll need to come, I'll do the things that I do with my commander, and my position in the military, it's more facing with the commander. Every day will be something different. So I'll need to talk with the commander, ask for permission if first of all I can leave the military to sleep at home, or because sometimes I need to stay the weekends and I need to stay nights, because I also needed to do a certain thing in the medical center there, because I was part of the medical department.
Okay.
So I needed to be there, so a couple nights a week or like during the weekend. So everything needed to go through my commander. Like, hey, I have a game this Saturday. I cannot stay this weekend. So it's another experience that, like, oh, you have to stay, and then like, hey, it's my career. Somehow to work with other people that will do it. That I will go towards the end of the season and do a whole month and a half, 2 months off season in the base that I'll be able throughout the year to go. But this is another experience. But yeah, you're learning to face with certain people, and how I can talk with the commander that he will let me to go to practice, that I'll get there on time. And if practice is in the morning, how can I not go to the military in the morning and stay a little bit later, and how to make it okay. And it was really tough. Like, me and my mother probably knows the best. It was really like a day-to-day battle. Like, I'll wake up in the morning, I'll do like this, I'll go to sleep and I won't know how tomorrow will look. Like, I can be waking up in the morning, have a little thing with my commander, he won't let me go, this and that. And then,
what would be a reason, for example, that they would let you go versus not let you go?
so sometimes he will let me go, I won't. Like, a reason will be like, hey, I have a practice, or I have a game this time, can I go at this time? Yeah, sure. Because he felt like it.
Okay.
Mostly with my commander,
Yeah.
at least. Some commanders harder, some commander easier.
Yeah.
My commander is, I think, more how he felt like. He says that he always for me, but I don't know about that. Anyways, but one of them, I was in a trial. Not a trial, I was in a court because of this story.
Oh, I think we've talked about that. So yeah.
So, one of my first games and the first team, waited all my life, worked for all my life to get to this moment. Had a great game, got subbed in 10 minutes in. We won the first game of the season. Like, the team didn't look so good. I got in, did amazing. Coming the next game, the final practice, pre-game session. Not pre-game session it's called.
Yeah.
Like the practice before the game. Comes the practice, and the commanders of the base, they switched because of an issue that happened. So they needed to do a ceremony of switching. And my commander, for some reason, did not let me leave because it wasn't 5 and we had to practice at 5. But he did not let me leave. And other people, like in similar position, did leave. And he said, no, you cannot. It's a commander of the base. I cannot let you leave. So I'm like, it's something that I waited for all my life. I'm gonna take this risk. And I don't know if it's good to say it, but I left the base.
Yeah.
I just waited that it will start, left the base, been late to practice, put the phone in airplane mode, drove to the practice, was late to practice. Coach knew about it already, that I'll be late. Long story short, I did not play because I was late to practice.
Even though your coach knew about it.
Yeah, even though the coach knew about it, for some reason he did not let me play. And I really thought this is my moment to shine. This is how I'm gonna prove at 18 years old that I'm the guy.
And this was the first team.
Yeah. And my commander did find out. Of course, he saw the cameras, they disappeared in the middle. He did find out. He put charges against me, gave it to his commander, and the week after that, it wasn't a Thursday, so the week after that, he came with my head shaved because I cannot have really a lot of hair like I did have, because I'm not facing the head commander. With my head shaved, everything is all nice and clean, and the trial. And I was lucky from what I did to what they charged me. They charged me only for running away and not being there when it's necessary. So I could have been in jail for like a month.
Wow.
But what they charged me with, they said, okay, you're gonna be at the base just for 5 days.
Okay.
Like, you
So
cannot.
you just had to sleep there instead of going
Yeah.
home.
And it's also ruins the next week of
Right.
practice. But after missing one practice, me and my commander talking, he kind of, not against the rules, he let me go just to practice and like drive back to the base. That was nice of him, but he put me on purpose in this position. So it's kind of backhanded.
That's an interesting story. I want to ask you some more questions about that, and then I want to get more into some questions about Israel and some personal philosophy stuff. I want to grab some water. I don't know if you do.
Yeah, that's good.
And I just want to make sure everything's still recording as well, because I noticed the light. Do you want to get back into it?
Yeah, then go ahead.
So, Yaniv just gave us the recap about some of stories from the military, some conflict with the commander and the coach, and a near 1 month, almost 1 month jail stay. But I'm curious. So obviously you have some really unique stories, and you have a sense of pride for being able to do that service for your country. What were your actual roles? I'm curious, and from each role, did you take any skills away that kind of applied to soccer or just life in general?
I think mostly what I took, like, it's the experience of communicating with people. Like, you're in the military, you don't really have a say. A lot of things do not make sense, and you're still doing it because this is what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's more like, this is what needs to be done. Don't really ask questions. You can. In my position, I could ask questions because I wasn't a warrior. But a lot of things won't make sense. You just do because this is what needs to be done, and it was a reason that this is why you're doing it right now. Like, something happened in the past, 6 years ago, or 5 years ago, or a week ago, that someone made the decision that you need to do it right now because of something else that happened, that since then we're now doing it like this. My position, I was a part of the medical department in the Air Force, and I wasn't a medic, but yeah, I would just like do the not dirty work, but behind the scenes work. And it was a lot of like individual things that I took from it. Like, I don't know. Medically, a lot of knowledge that I got, but not really towards my life, just fun facts or stuff like that. Or it is a few things that I cannot just think of for my life. Probably there is, but mostly just you deal with people that you don't really like, and you deal with people that use their power badly, or not like, I'm not talking like badly, like assaulting you, but just like thinking that they're above you and don't really know how to be a good commander or a good person when they have this power. But you're learning how to deal with those people. And I, for example, after the military, I understood that in my life, I do not really want to be working. Like, when I'm working, I want to have my own business, and I want to be in charge of my things and not to be like in a desk of some douchebag that tell me what to do.
Yeah.
That is not really want to work together. You just like take his power and say, hey, just do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want you to talk. So this is things that I learned about myself a lot throughout the whole process. But the most thing is, the people, how to handle people and how to know. For example, it helped me with NC State, how to deal with the head coach there.
Right.
That is a certain character that I just needed to learn how to deal with, and how not to lose my patience, and how to still be focused on the soccer, and tools that I got from the military as well.
Yeah, well, I think that's a really valuable. I think one of the most valuable skills you can have is being able to talk to lots of different people.
By the way, do you know that the head coach that didn't let me play, I don't know if you know Eyal Berkovich.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a Man City legend.
Okay.
So he is his brother.
Oh, really?
Eyal Berkovich was the owner of my club. So he was my boss.
Oh, wow. That's an
He's the
interesting
owner of the
connection.
club, and he hired his brother to be, first of all, was the U19 coach, and then something opened to the first team, so went to the first team.
Wow. That's a pretty sweet connection.
Yeah. Well, we still talk until today.
You and the coach?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Not a lot, but we do
What
talk.
about you and the commander?
We do talk more
Really?
often. More often than me and the coach, but I'll say twice, 3 times a year.
Oh wow, okay.
Just how are you?
I was almost asking as a joke, expecting that you-
Yeah. No, we like I told you before. Like I don't know if it was the recording back then, but
Yeah.
he said you are a great person. I don't, but you're not a great soldier.
Yeah, I know. Just in case the,
Yeah.
I think we will have it covered because we have 2 cameras going.
Yeah.
But Yaniv just referenced we had one of the cameras shut off for I think 20 minutes, and Yaniv was recapping one of his stories about. I think we did capture it, so we don't have to go all the way
Yeah.
into it. But and I just referenced the almost 1 year or 1 month jail sentence. But that's a really cool, interesting story.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you didn't go to jail.
Me too.
Yeah. I'm just looking through here at a bunch of stuff I wanted to cover. We've gotten a lot of the soccer stuff in. Like we've got a lot of good stuff in soccer. NC State, Vermont Green, UVM. Talked about self-talk. Military service. I wanted to ask you, and we talked about this briefly before, how have you been able to, obviously I imagine there's been a lot of stress, and I'm curious how you've been able to cope with it regarding the conflict going on in the Middle East, and if there's been any major challenges or support from the community here regarding your background and just how you navigate those interactions, because obviously I imagine it's been really very challenging.
Yeah, it is really challenging until today. Like, it's still really challenging. Even from the day that it just happened, it was, you probably remember, I don't know if you remember the day, but we've been in NJT, we had a game.
Yeah. No, I remember.
Yeah.
We were at breakfast.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it.
I was already happening.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning, I wake up to this. Like, Rob is asking me, "Are you okay? Your family's okay?" Like, and me thinking it's just another day. Like, okay, it's another day that the terror attack on us, but it's not so bad. But with time, I understood more and more how bad it was. October 7th. Until today, it's hard to comprehend what happened, because what happened there, but yeah, you understood more and more since. And back then, this game in particular, I did not play good, obviously. My head was not in the game. I couldn't say, how can I play the game when this thing is happening right now? Where my family, friends, and whatever is going on, and it's not solved, and it's not a lot of question marks. So it was a kind of a wake-up call about the world of while you playing a game of soccer, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You win the first ball, second balls, you win the tackle now. You score a goal, you don't score a goal, you win the game. It gives you a certain portion of the world for a second.
Perspective.
Perspective of the world. That you're thinking to yourself what I'm doing here is a kid's game. I'm playing in the minor leagues. It's not how can we be happy in the moment when this happens? And it was for I probably remember I wasn't still myself for weeks. But I knew that I need to bounce back somehow to living with it, not ignoring it while I play, but living knowing how to live with it, how to play with it, and still how to advance my career and my life, and how to help my country when they need me the most, and to kind of put everything in the same plate and try to combine with it. So I went to a sports psychology to, of course, first of all talk it out because it's like, yeah, I wasn't in Israel in the moment, but it's still a big trauma. So to see how I can still play and how to still make it matter to win the first balls, how it still mattered to sprint and to win the game and to score. And so you learn with time, like it's super hard. That was the game that I think the game after or 2 games after, came back to scoring the goal, and like I teared up. I cried the moment I scored, everything just.
This is Binghamton?
Yeah, Burlington that we just playing tomorrow, but so just like teared up, did a prayer, and with an Israeli flag that you helped to bring to me. But yeah, it was a really emotional moment because the moment you cannot tell because you've been in the game, this game, you got in, but the moment I got subbed out, I just cried. Like after 5 minutes that I scored and got out, and I got a lot of love from the team and also from the other team, I'll say. And I just I couldn't hold it and just think about everything that's going on and just letting it go, that it is important. Because it was a week and a half or 2 weeks that just holding everything inside and just tearing up in bed, to look at all the stories and all the terrible, unhumane things that you can imagine, that you cannot imagine actually. That's why you tear up, because your mind did not accept it. But you're learning what time to live with it, not to ignore it and to put it aside, but to be part of it, and how to continue your life your best way to your goals, and towards also the best way towards your country and your family and friends. And it's until today it's hard. A lot of people also sometimes remind me, because I'm too focused on trying to deal with everything, to look at it from the side for a second. I still my family is still a threat daily, and you need to learn that this is your life now. How to still make the best from both worlds at the same time.
Yeah. No, I can't imagine how challenging it was, but I could see some of how much it was weighing on you, and yeah, I can only imagine how challenging it was. But you obviously navigated it well, and were able to still be present for the team as a player and as a friend, which is really, really remarkable and impressive, and I think you should be proud of that. And from the outside looking in, it looked like you were also really present for your family, and always, I remember you always seem to be connected to your family, but I remember going into the locker room a lot, and you'd always be on the phone checking in with somebody, and I just thought that was not uncharacteristic of you, because that's the kind of person you are, but was very impressive. The composure and the care that you showed throughout that. So yeah, no, definitely made me proud to be your friend, how you navigated that situation, because again, I can't imagine how challenging it must have been, and it still is, but you should be proud for how you handled it and continue to handle it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate, and I'll say it also here, I appreciate that you also been there for me at this time. That if I was depressed and sad in my house, you would come and cheer me out, talk with me, bring me snacks. I was really I needed this, and thank you for being there for me at this time. It also shows a lot about you as a person.
Well, thank you.
I'll still say thank you, and I'll be thankful for the rest of my life for this. Getting emotional here. Okay.
Yeah, well, I wanted to talk about that, and I guess I was also curious, and we don't have to go into this, about the second part of the question was if there were, specifically in this community, if you felt, if you had any challenges or support from the community, I guess beyond the team, and how you were able to navigate that. And then if we don't, we can also go in a different direction about if your kind of identity as someone from Israel has changed or evolved given the events of the past year or a little bit over a year. And yeah, I'm just curious if either of those or one of those you take it.
Like I'll say about the community, they're really supportive. Like the community really supportive. If they didn't support me, they at least didn't do it in front of my face.
Yeah.
I'll say, but really supportive. Was there a bunch of people that texted me and went even after the game and asked me, hey, like, we know what's going through and we're super sorry to hear. Is everything okay? You, your family, people that I know, people that I don't know. And I'm super grateful for them. And it helps. It helps also with other people, like the Schumann family that has a great connection, that I have a great connection with. That they're also someone to be with and to like be sad with and talk and brainstorm and try to comprehend everything that is going on. There's also tools that really help. Like I think it's really important to talk about your feelings and not hide them. Like you need to let it go, because if that would just add up and eat you from the inside. If not, so for us it was from both ways to really like give and take. That the community was really amazing, and of course people like you, like I already said, that came and helped me and asked about me consistently. And those small things of, hey, how's your family? Good? Means a lot. So I'm really appreciative of the friends, community, people that supported me throughout this time. Still until today, unfortunately. Really, like sadly. But yeah, I'm really grateful for that. And your second question was about, what was it about?
I was curious, well thank you for the first answer.
Yeah.
I was curious if your identity and how you identify with Israel has changed or evolved over the past year or more.
I think it grew. It for sure grew, because everything that's going on, you become more patriotic, right? Like, for example, 9/11 in the US, everybody became more patriotic, more USA related, and people went and volunteered to the military and became more like, what's a big story, right? Even like you're an athlete, you have a job, finance, whatever, you became more patriotic. And I think in Israel it's really happened as well. Like everybody came together, and we need to survive, like survival instinct kind of. We need to help each other, people with need, families, soldiers, people that like their loved ones died. You need to help. And I think I did, like, even if I'm far, I try to be the best ambassador that I can. If it's to talk about it with people that do not really understand about the situation, whoever is willing to listen, because we can see in the world there's a lot of people that just have one opinion without willing to listen. But I really think that I became closer to Israel, and to like the idea of we need to be together and the world needs to stay together to have good in the world and not the bad. And this is kind of how it affected me in my life.
Interesting. Well, I think it's an interesting parallel you drew to the U.S. and how they both have those kind of unifying events.
Right.
Fortunately, there were like terrible things, but unifying events. So outside of the current events regarding Israel, how has growing up there shaped who you are now? And I'm also just curious about just general cultural differences from Israel to the United States.
Yeah, that I see a lot. I see actually a lot with culture. Like we do have kind of the same ideas, but different ways to look at it. I think a lot of it is our beginning of the week is Sunday, so Sunday is a work day for us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we kind of work an extra day. So the Israelis.
6 days?
Yeah, we work
Wow.
Sunday to Friday in the noon afternoon because you have Friday dinner, and then Saturday you rest. It's the day of rest. So have an extra day at work, basically. So when you see like the American culture, when you're at your job and when you're working, only when you're at your office, call me from 9 to 5. This is when you can reach me. After that, this is my own time. Not in Israel. Israel, all over the world is your office.
Really?
Yeah, so you don't really have really time to rest and disconnect. Like we're kind of workaholic.
Interesting.
We're really like
A lot of people would say America is workaholic.
America's workaholic by the how do you say, like, what is it, like Ford, the assembly line? It's like they're really like,
Factory?
yeah, it's like kind of okay, go to the office, they have
yeah.
their own bubble of the world.
Okay.
That's what I feel. But like in Israel, people take their job to their home. Then in the US, it's not really like that. The moment you're in your job, you're in your job. Like if you work in finance, you're in your job, you're in your job. But after, you're with your family. Like don't call me and bother me as a customer. Like I'm not working now. You can call me tomorrow at 9. Right? It's like more like that. But no, in Israel, it's like more that it's like a good thing, but also a bad thing because everything is involved. So this is one thing that I can say that also you can see in that technology, like Israel is really good in high tech. Like a lot of new innovations come from Israel because we're always working, we're always thinking, we're always doing. Like we also, with the military in like certain senses, we also always need to be above, like we already need to be in the future. Like if the rest of the world with us, we're in a disadvantage. So we need to be kind of with everything, like on top of everything, because it's like kind of the history of us, and it's like our DNA already. Like I'll say the Jewish people, it's like wherever they go, we're really welcomed wherever, and they kind of need to be isolated and on their own, and they need to rely on themselves. So it's kind of in our DNA to work a little bit more and always like involved and not being like waiting for other people to kind of not make their decisions, but to control us. We need to control our own destiny.
Interesting.
And then like you can also see it with like what's going on in the Middle East as well. Like we want to defend ourselves. We don't want to like do anything, but we're always in a survival mode. We need to somehow to take care of ourselves. And this is more how I see the difference of like the two different cultures. But beside that, I think it's pretty much the same.
Pretty similar.
And the food.
Yeah.
The food is really good in Israel.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
You made, was it the couscous the one
I
time?
made couscous. And not Israeli. Like there's not really Israeli food, but there's really good food in Israel.
Okay.
So we kind of take like a little bit from here, a little bit from there, and we have like a really good combination of good food. It's Moroccan, Asian.
I guess that's kind of like the US too. It's not really like.
Yeah, but I feel like here in the US because it's so in the US, it's because it's like everything is manufactured. You feel it in the food. You feel like the cheese is not as fresh, the bread is not fresh bread.
Lots of processed food here.
Yeah, the meat is like the chicken. They just grow fast and we can.
Yeah. No, it makes a difference in like
And yeah, and the taste is, I think like the taste is not as good in the U.S. than in Israel. When like you have bread, like I grew up, the bread won't be good for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 days, you need to finish the bread. It won't go bad.
Yeah.
I have already a bread that I'm not touching for already a month. And it's not even showing signs of getting hard. It's still soft and like I bought it yesterday. I think like this is also a big problem in the food industry.
Yeah. No, that's it. That's
Think
its
about
own.
like this is getting into my body.
Yeah. It's great. That's its own can of worms. Yeah. No, processed foods is a big issue. Okay, that. Yeah, I had absolutely no idea about that. Like the Israeli work culture.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to hear like what do you think like the roots of that are with like that kind of survival instinct.
It's my opinion. It could be a lot of other different things.
I think it's
I
an
think
interesting
it has
theory.
To be, it has to be like a little bit with it.
Okay, I've got a couple questions to wrap up, not really connected to any one thing in particular. So we've covered some self-talk stuff, we covered all of Vermont soccer and college soccer, and we covered a little bit about Israel. And I'll ask you, I guess, 3 questions to conclude. So first, where do you see yourself in, let's say 5 years? I think that's an interesting time frame. Where do you see yourself / where do you want to be?
Where do I see myself / where do I want to be? 5 years.
5 years.
That's a good question. You know, we just had a conversation on the bus. 10 years from now.
That's tough.
Yeah, but 5 years. Okay. Where do I want to be? How my life looks like?
Mhm.
You mean? 5 years. I want to be playing in Europe, like the best level. For now, the Prem is the best league, right?
Yeah.
So in the Prem,
Nice.
very good team to be one of the best in the world, and to fight to get all the cups, all the Champions League, Prem, FA, everything that I can, and as well as individual. And to start building myself a big name, not only a name, big name and your legacy.
Yeah.
Like I believe in your life, for myself.
The logo, the brand.
Yeah, I want to build like a certain legacy. Like I don't want to be another person in the world. I want to be a good influencer for our kids or for people in life, and also to have a good individual life that I reached something like a certain meaningful. That meaning can come in any different ways, but I want like kind of all of them.
Right.
So this is how I know when I'm at my deathbed that I said, well, I lived my life. Like I did my best, and I did achieve, and I did do. And my goal is soccer, so I want to 5 years to look like that in the soccer world. I want to have a bunch of nice houses.
Yeah.
Bunch of nice houses, nice cars, good businesses, ideas and investments, and things that I'm really passionate about in the business world that will drive me also outside of soccer. I also want to be a good businessman and like also like a good person outside of the soccer world, not only the successful in the soccer world. What else?
It's pretty good.
Family, to have nice family with my wife, kids, family, good trips, and I think enjoying the moment, enjoying the past, enjoying the future, and be present and enjoy the present.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good 5-year plan. Do you? First of all, some of those are like most people would consider very lofty aspirations, and I believe in you to be able to accomplish them. But do you ever feel almost like afraid of those goals, like how big they are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
because in the meantime I'm really far from them.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe in also, like we said, self-talk,
Right.
and you need to say those things out loud,
Yeah.
and you don't need to be afraid of what you want, and you need to be really specific, because dreams without you willing to say and do them are just gonna stay dreams.
Right.
So you want to have a plan, you want to know what you're doing, and then it becomes a plan and it's a goal. It's not a dream anymore. And so me with my mental coaches and everything, I learned how not to be afraid to say what you want. Like when you ask me to be really specific, where are you gonna play? What are you gonna do? How much salary will you have and everything? That will really,
Because then you can visualize
yeah, that you really will know. You will know. It's not like, oh, where you want to be? I want to play professional.
Mm-hmm.
Professional is basically everything as long as you get money
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So it is kind of scary because at the moment I'm playing college. I'm in my senior year, I'm 25, and it's a big gap between. But I don't believe it is impossible.
Yeah.
A lot of people will probably hear it, or when I talk to them, will hear it, or will laugh. But I believe that those people will never reach their goals because nothing is impossible. Like if I don't believe in myself, all my dreams will be dreams,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll never live my dream life. I need to first of all believe in my goals, not being afraid of talking, and start making steps towards those goals.
Love it.
Uh,
Yeah, I think that's great. Do you have? I kind of want to move on to the next questions, but so you have your dreams, you say them out loud, they're goals, but then you need to break it up into. Do you have like kind of next steps? Like, do you have like how specific do you get? Do you make small goals all the way up until that what you want, or are you kind of just focusing on a couple ahead, or are you just focusing on the next small goal?
So if like we will take an example of like a building.
Mm-hmm.
So at the top of the building, of like 100-floor building, every floor is a sort of like goal that you want to achieve to reach up there to build your 100-floor building. And every stair will be the mini goal. So for example, the first floor is my first floor is what happened in Israel. Second floor is college. But every one of them is okay. Like certain amount of goals. Like this is the kind of the specific goals that you have, and what you need to do to get to achieve these goals. And I know I said that I don't like to put my goals as like a number because I cannot control it. But then I have the other things that will make this number happen.
Yeah.
Because I know what needs to be done to go there. So when I came from Israel to here, so I make a downward step to make an upward step. I went to college, maybe less, to make a jump to the MLS. So I want to go to the MLS and do good years, and then make a transition to Europe, do a good year. Fortunately for my position, you need just good 6 months.
Yeah.
You don't need a good 3 years.
Well, there's some really cool success stories. Obviously, if you think about forwards, Jamie Vardy,
Exactly.
25. I think he was playing probably at a equivalent or lower level because obviously in the non-league system there. There's a what is his name? He's a defender for the U.S. men's national team, Jay DeMerit. He played Division I. He was a walk-on, I believe, or preferred walk-on at a school in like Illinois maybe, and then just like decided to go over to England, played in like the 14th division or something, and then like somehow got to the 9th division, and then Watford was in like the 3rd or 4th division at the time. They needed a center back like really bad, so they just signed him, and then he went
yeah, so lots of cool stories. So it's crazier things have happened. Next question: what was the lowest point of your career?
You know what? It can be kind of long though, the lowest point,
Okay.
because I can explain about it. Um, so I a little bit talked about it, about this period of time that I barely played. I'll say this is the lowest part of my career that,
So when you were 16.
like, yeah, when I just moved from my hometown uh, club to this bigger club, one of the best youth clubs. That was, in my certain age, the best club in Israel in the time. So I made this transition from one of maybe the best players in Israel in my age
Mm-hmm.
to be a player that barely plays. So this will be the lowest probably part that shaped me to who I am today. And I can explain more about it because I think who I am today and all your questions in the beginning of what makes you who I am, it happened in this, most of it happened in this 5 year period of shaped me, of my work, how I work hard and how I play, and also shaped me in my life and like what I need to do and what is my values. That is super important because my values affect me in the soccer and also outside of soccer. And I think most of it happened in this period of time. And I can talk about it because this is most of my life and who I became, if you want.
Yeah, please.
So yeah, so like I said, I moved from kind of a smaller club in my hometown. That now actually it was in the first division, just relegated. So it was a kind of a smaller club, and I went to this good club, very known in Israel, especially back when I moved there. And I did not get as many minutes. And as a player, that I was super fast, very good on the ball. I did a lot of individual sessions, so I was pretty good on the ball. And to a point that everybody started to grow up. Like I was, I think 15, 14, 15, around this age when I did this transition, when I transferred. And everybody grew up, started to be faster than me, stronger than me. And I stayed my height, my speed. I didn't even develop a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What's like, this age that people become more
Yeah.
taller, and this guy becomes stronger and faster, and like you become more like a man. So I just evolved later, a couple years later. But I think one of my strongest personality things is focus. And I think I was so focused and how I'm getting better and how I'm getting my minutes that I didn't even look at what's going on in the moment. That my first season I played, like I transferred from one of the best maybe players in Israel to be someone who doesn't start single game from 35 games. Yeah, you play in the best team in the country, but you're not starting one single game. You play 9 games overall, and yeah, you've been injured throughout the season sometimes. Like I broke my arm, but it's not really like why I did not play. But in this season, I worked harder than everyone. I became a workaholic, like we said. I became like, I went to a private gym coach. I would lift at age 15. I would lift twice a week with him. I will go 3 times a week to a private coach to work on my technique, on my finishing, and to become a better player. Throughout the season did not help me. I will work, I will go every day, I will work harder than everybody. I'll go in individual sessions before school in the morning, twice a week. I'll work more like there because there were really good academies. So we will have like with center backs will have a morning session on Monday, then strikers will have on not Sunday, on Tuesday. Midfielders will be this. So everybody will just sometimes go when it's their position. I went at least twice a week, if not more, because I wanted to get better. And I was so focused. And I wasn't the best player in the moment because I didn't have the physicality for that as well. But I worked so hard before school, after school, and then staying and doing homework until 10 p.m. because I wanted to stay in my math class because I was like it's levels and I wanted to stay in the highest level. But eventually I did not succeed because I didn't have the time to actually study. Um, but trying to do all of this, like leaving at 7 a.m., 6, 7 a.m., that I can be at school, I like to go practice, be at school, do all the individual sessions after my practice, and still be able to also be a student. And also like trying to have hobbies in the weekend. I got into surfing because of my friends. Like I loved surfing. That also a couple years after I gave up because of my soccer career. But in this year, it was like the growth year. The year after that, I started to play more. Got my first start against the other best team in the country, and things starting to look good. So the second year, I had three starts, but I played 26 games of the season. So it's a big jump for me.
From 9 games.
Yeah, maybe we weren't in the second year the best team in the country because we started to get like less better, I guess. But same players, just not different coach, and then wasn't as good. And then the third year, right before we going to the U19, we I started to like I didn't like when we started the season I wasn't a starter. After the first quarter, I started a game because my name wasn't up there anymore. Like we had all the stars that wasn't a national team, and like I'm in their positions, they're the best in the country in their position. So in the first quarter, I still wouldn't really start, and then I started more, and then in the second of the season, I started every game, and I finished number one goal, like golden boot of my club.
Wow.
And
And that's 2 years after the 9 game.
yeah, so this is my third year. This is my third year in the club. And next season it's already like when like the U19, U20s, that it's like everybody already starting to look at you. Like you're starting to look to the next step already. So most of like so here I will go back. So in the third season, I finished like golden boot, and they give me because I worked harder than everyone. I still continue to go to the private gym coach and private sessions and worked on my own. And my work rate, like I started to like when I started to develop 2 years after, I started to be fast again, started to be more physical again, and then everything added up, and my work rate still was higher than everybody else. And I remember a few years after, I met with a friend, and he told me that he was one of the best players in the team, like he was in the national team. A few years after he retired from soccer, I was 21 already. He said, "You every time, like I started to work hard, but every time I made one step high because you beat me in my position. You started to play and I didn't. Every time I did one step, you made three steps. Like you had work rate and already the skill that I could not achieve. That it's like gave me the chills back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was one of four players that went to the U20s and that year. One of like four players out of 30 something players that played with me that started before me that been in the national teams and everything, and I went to the U19 and started at the beginning, at least, of the season with this Berkovic guy.
Man City, brother.
Yeah, that he liked me at the beginning, but didn't let me play after as much. But this is another story. Um, but I was one of the four guys, and I was the only person that made it to the pros from
Wow.
this team.
Wow. So 9 games started. First season you played 9 games, didn't start any.
Start one.
Second season you started 3, played in 26. Third season Golden Boot. Fourth season one of 4 players selected.
To play like with the 3-year group. It's like
Yeah.
17, 18, 19. They were 19.
That's a pretty remarkable story and really a good example of just like just dedication and just like trusting the process.
And then the U19, I also in my second year, I was also the Golden Boot, and in my third year, and I was the captain by the third year, and I played also with the first team and the U19. And like looking back, again, being so focused, you cannot really look into those achievements and say, "Wow, like good job! Like you've been through a lot. How come you stayed?
Yeah.
How come you didn't give up?" But because I was too focused, I didn't even see I didn't see the bad. I didn't see the bad, and then I stayed.
Yeah, that's an impressive journey because I've only known you as like someone that's already like an established or like one of the top guys. So it's just interesting to hear about you like again, that's like its own walk-on journey that you went on when you know from 16 to 19. And yeah, no, again, I know I said this a couple times early on, but another reason like you're embodying the mission of this podcast, which is you just said was like complete perseverance over a 4-year span that totally paid off. And it doesn't always pay off, but when it does, it's great, and it's really good to share that with other people because hopefully what you just said will, inspire some 16-year-old that sees that and isn't playing and wants to quit. And because I'm sure you have those moments when you're in the gym and you're lifting twice a week and you're going early 3 times a week and then you're training every day and you're doing all that and the guy above you isn't doing that and he's playing better than you. And he is better than you in that moment, and you just have to have that vision. It goes back to the self-talk. Can you visualize yourself, in the place you want to be? And if you can, and you put the work in, then you more often than not get what you want. So I think that's I'm really happy you shared the long version. Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. It's awesome.
Thank
Didn't
you.
know that at all. So I'm glad I learned.
I'm not telling it a lot of times because I don't know if people not really coming up for as a conversation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, it'd be a long conversation. No, but it's a really cool story. And yeah, I think that's a really fitting. I want to ask one more, but I think that is a really fitting end to wrap up like you had your own walk-on journey, even though it's a college thing, you had that in your academy days, and I think that's really cool. Last question. Do you have any personal beliefs or personal life philosophies that influence the way you go about life? And so I'll give you an example just because, I don't know, the question can be kind of unclear. So I've had this like long-standing belief that you either chase discomfort or it chases you. So that's like an example of a belief I have, and I'll elaborate a little bit on it. So everyone experiences like hard feelings, discomfort, but it's kind of relative to what they do on the day to day. So someone that like really chases discomfort, gets up early and trains, does the extra work like you did when you were 16 through 19, they're gonna have a higher threshold for discomfort versus someone that doesn't really, or you took on that challenge of saying, hey, I'm gonna get here even though it was really hard. So you did things that were uncomfortable to get there. So you kind of raised your threshold for what makes you uncomfortable. If you kind of consistently shy away from challenges and you stay comfortable, easy things start to become hard.
Right. Yeah.
Right, so your threshold lowers, and the discomfort will actually start to chase you. So everyone has to get uncomfortable at some point. It's just, do you want to chase it, or do you want to be chased by it?
I can understand that. It's like getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, like it's inevitable.
Yeah.
So you might as well go after it.
Exactly.
That's a long-standing belief I've had. It's come under some question recently because that's kind of aligned with the belief that like things have to be hard. It has to be a struggle, kind of.
Yeah.
And some people that I've spoken to recently said, life doesn't have to be hard. Like things can be, I don't want to say easy, but things can kind of just flow.
Work
Yeah.
way.
And I kind of get what they're saying, so I'm kind of balancing between the two ideas. But that's what I mean by personal belief or personal philosophy.
I think I have something that will maybe also help it. Like when you asked it, I think this is the one thing that popped into my head.
Okay.
It's I believe in God.
Okay.
So I'm a big believer that everything happens for the best.
Okay.
So with the working hard
for the best or for a
the
reason?
best of your interest.
Okay.
It's also with the reason. There is a reason, but the best of your interest as well. Like there is a reason that something happens that needs to be happening, that you're not happy with, that it ends up to be good for you or for other individual, but it happens for the best. So again, I believe in God, and I believe that this is a way of my living. So, for example, I had a very good season last season, and I really thought, like, it wasn't a doubt in my head that I will not get drafted last season.
Yeah.
Like, I think also other people thought
we
this.
we all thought it.
Like, I already looked like I'm already getting drafted.
Yeah.
And what is next for me? Because, like, by the book, I did everything. Like, there's not any, if you would have done this, I did.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. And it's really easy to get down to this thought of like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
But because of this belief, it kind of steps away and like, you know what? It could be maybe I wasn't ready. Maybe they wouldn't give me, like, whoever wanted to draft me, and I thought it was the best decision for me, would ruin my career. I will not enjoy, will ruin my soccer experience, or ruin my, like, whatever is next for me. So, like, I believe that everything, like, has a way. Doesn't mean that my goal have changed. It doesn't mean that, like, I'm now, okay, screw that, we're going to another thing. It means that I'm still focused on it. Means that maybe it's not college. I also thought maybe I need to go professional somewhere else. Like maybe just not through the MLS. I need to figure out on my own. God gives me the hints and the ways that I have. And at the end of the day, I will choose what is best for me, what I think is best for me. But always, even if it's the right or wrong decision, it does happen for the best. It's like, if you don't mind, it's like a quick, nice story about it. Like also, it's like this guy that it just was a tsunami and everything is flooded and he's on the roof and that's everything is rising and he's about to die. And he always said, okay, God will take care of me. I'm not worried. No, God will take care of me. I'm not worried. Everything is good. And then the sea level rise and then he died up next to God. And then he said, hey, what the heck, God? I thought you got me. Like, I believe in you. I believe that you will get me. Like, well, you didn't see the boat that came and asked if you needed the help, or the little rescue thing that was there, or the person before that told you that it will be this.
Yeah.
You didn't see all that. I give you. But so the moral of the story, you also need to see everything, and everything is an option. Everything is a good option. Like the boat will probably be the best, easiest option, or maybe to listen to the guide that will tell you that it will happen, and maybe you should not be in your house in the moment.
Yeah.
So everything does happen for your best interest.
Interesting.
And I think it make me more calm in my personality as well.
You have faith.
yeah, I have faith that every moment, every game, every single thing that happens, it's for my best interest, and also puts a lot of stress not on my shoulders. Like I'm more relaxed. I have someone else to blame,
Hmm.
and I have someone else to rely on. That does help me a lot. Like it could be God, it could be a spirit, it could be anything people want to believe.
Can you I know we were gonna end, but this made me think of something. Can you imagine a life without religion? Because, for example, like I'm not religious, and it's just making
Yeah,
me curious. I'm just wondering, like, from your perspective, like, what do you think life would be like without religion?
I think I'll be kind of lost.
Yeah.
Like I think society will be lost. I think, like I said, could be anything. It could be God, it could be a spirit, it could be just someone above you.
Yeah.
I think the human beings just need to believe that there is something bigger than them.
Hmm.
If you want to call it God, let it be God. If you want to call it science
Hmm.
and something is going on there that we still don't know,
Yeah.
be that.
Hmm.
But you need to believe that something is going on that is bigger than you that you don't have control of. Mentally, it will let you be more relaxed, rely on someone else. Like for me, like I said, it's God, but it can be something else. But I believe that the human being needs someone or something like else instead of blaming themselves.
The way you're talking about it makes me think it's a very like collectivist,
Yeah,
like the opposite of being like really individualistic, like all about yourself. And I don't know, I feel like yeah, humans are a collectivist species who
yeah,
need other people. But I wonder like some of those things about like, you know, I'm trying to think how you said it. Something bigger than yourself. Like
hmm,
that just makes me think of like a team, of like being a part of a team or being part of a
yeah,
family. Like
yeah.
it's all about that. So I don't know. I wonder if like that could be your thing.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be like from where I come from, how I grew up. God is every single person in this world.
Mhm.
Like every single one of us has a little bit of God. So everybody together is God.
Hmm.
Everybody
Okay.
together.
Oh, that's interesting.
So the Bible, that's how I grew up. I know I don't really like to talk about
Yeah,
religion, politics,
yeah.
all that, but how I grew up that it helps me my mentality, like how it reflects the life. It's just like I have a little bit and you have a little bit and he
Hmm.
has a little bit and she has a little bit and everybody has a small tiny bit that makes us all God. And a group and a team is also it's like something with a purpose, something that makes you wake up every morning and to go and do something.
Yeah.
And it could be a team, it could be God, it could be something. It could like I think this is like what you said, the human species. We really we need a something.
Hmm.
We cannot live on our own. And a team is a good thing, for example, because it pushes yourself, makes you wake up, go to the gym maybe, and makes you believe in certain thing. And if it's soccer, for example, sometimes not the best team wins, and it's okay.
Hmm.
You need to know how to win and you need to know how to lose. So it's also part of it. And I think all of the above is the right answer. You just need something.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that like I have a lot of beliefs that like align with those things, but I just don't see it through religion. I don't know. Like like having faith for me, it's just like I just feel like things are just like always gonna work out. But I don't really have a reason. I'm just like, yeah, like it'll just be fine.
Like,
Like it's kind of like a blind faith.
and I think it's good. I
Yeah,
think because you need to believe in it.
yeah,
Because if not, you all the pressure will be on you.
yeah,
All the pressure, like you have to do everything to
yeah,
deal with it. Instead of, you know what, there's something like something will happen, but no matter what will happen, it will still be good. Like whoever has control of it, if it's this person or God or the plant, like whatever is going on, I know it will be good. And like what comes to my belief of everything that happens in your life, it comes with the best interest of you.
yeah, yeah. I
It's
get
like a
behind
whole
that.
circle of like why I can be calm, why I can like
Yeah, it ties back.
take perspective of certain things. And I think it's just important to think that there is something or someone that is beyond us.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I like that. I really, one of the other ideas I was going to talk about that I really like is that, like, which I had never really heard. I'm really uneducated on religion, but I thought it was really interesting, like how the way you view God is that it's like a little bit in each person. And I think that's really cool because I feel like, I know I keep trying to get back to the podcast, but I'm going to do it again. I feel like one of the things that I'm hoping to get out of doing this, is I know like that everyone has something special. Like I think everyone in the world is the best in the world at something. It could be really specific, but everyone in the world is the best in the world at something. And you just have to like dig a little bit to get it. And I feel like it's almost a similar thing. Like everyone's got something, everyone's got a piece. And this is a cool way to find it because you get to dig a little bit. And I feel like with you, we've been, good friends for a couple of years, and but this is a unique opportunity to kind of like get to dig and learn a little bit more. And I feel like I have a more complete picture because now I obviously know you as a player and as a teammate, and as a friend. But I think tying your personality, which I know well, back to like some origins with your country and your faith and some of your formative experiences like your U16 to U19 experience and a little bit more color on the NC State. I feel like I don't have the whole picture, but I have a clearer picture. And yeah, it's been really cool to get to learn more about you.
thank you.
And yeah, no, I'm really happy you came on because I think you really exemplify. Because on the surface, I think people would be like, it's not like you're not like a walk on. You know what I mean? Because you right now you're 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 a star in college soccer, but you have all this stuff in your background that got you here, which was perseverance and selflessness, which is what this is all about, and you exemplify it really well. And I'm glad I got to learn more and you got to share it. It's been really fun.
Thank you. I also enjoyed every single thought, detail, and I really enjoyed the conversation. Everybody loves to talk,
Yeah.
so I love to talk as well. But yeah, it was a great conversation. I'm happy to be here and to share a little bit about my life, what made me Yaniv Bazini.
Yeah,
And thank you for giving me this chance.
of course.
It's really fun.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we can piece it all together with the technical difficulties. But Yaniv, thank you for coming. Got a big game tomorrow.
Yeah,
It's 11 o'clock.
that's okay.
It's at 7 or 6.
Yeah, I have time
You
to
can sleep
sleep.
in a
Yeah, I
little
have
bit.
to.
That was good.
Thank you, sir.
Let's make sure.